Hey guys, Pig Menace, how's everybody doing? We're taking a stroll back in time here. We're taking a look at Ultima Online, the enhanced client, and some of you will be like, holy crap, this takes me back 15 years. And 15 years is just about right. Um, I'm a huge Ultima fan. I'm going to say that right off the bat. So, my commentary during this series, and this is probably going to be a little mini series, um, somewhat similar to what I did with DayZ. Okay, there's probably going to be 4 or 5 episodes of this, and then I'll probably let it be for a while. My love for this game has gone back since 1997. Okay, um, back when the game was brand new. Let me give you a little um, history on Ultima. Ultima basically goes Ultima 1 through 9, okay? Ultima 1 was a very strange game. Very strange. It included both elements of sci-fi and medieval fantasy and high fantasy. Including elves and hobbits and stuff like that. And then, you start off the game, Ultima 1, and you're making your way through Britannia, and then all of a sudden you progress and you're fighting basically tie fighters in space. It was such a weird, tricked out game, and Ultima 2 was somewhat similar, although it had a lot more of the strolling through Britannia and whatnot. But it did have space elements. The where the series really shined was Ultima 4, 5, 6, and 7. I would say for me, the series really got good at Ultima 4. I loved Ultima 4. I loved Ultima 5. Um, Ultima 8. What is it? Pagan. I believe it's called. In fact, I have it on my desktop right now. It got a little weird. You're not on Britannia anymore. You're in Pagan. Doing different things. The virtues are somewhat non-existent there. It's a completely different world. And then Ultima 9 Ascension is really somewhat of the redheaded stepchild of the series. Okay, I'll say that, and I say that lovingly. I don't mind Ultima 9, okay, and as a true Ultima fan, it's hard to say that because a lot of people absolutely hate Ultima 9 for many reasons. And as far as the story is concerned, you cannot include Ultima 9 in the Ultima series because the Ultima 9 story is completely twisted and absurd, and it's almost as if the Avatar in Ultima 9 completely forgot about the last 8 games. And anyway, this is not a rant on Ultima 9 Ascension. As a standalone game, had they released it without the Ultimate title, it would have been a fairly good game. The gameplay is good and everything else, so maybe we'll take a look at that in a future Pig Plays. But Ultima Online came about, and which is why I was talking about Ultima 9. Ultima Online came about right after Ultima 8. They started developing Ultima 9 Ascension, and about 6 months after that, they pulled the development team off and they started developing Ultima Online. Okay. Anyway, a year and a half went by or something like that. A period of time went by, and then the part of the development team was put back onto Ultima 9 Ascension, and was basically told, all right, you got like 6 months to complete this game, and that's why Ultima 9 was so poorly written. Just it was basically just a poor storyline game for the Ultima series. So Ultima Online was born between Ultima 8 and Ultima 9, and it's still here. 2012, it's with us today. Released, I believe, in '97, and I picked it up a month or two after it was released. And believe it or not, I've played this game. I don't know, 8 years, I think. Um, I have a lot of the same characters now. Pig Bennis here is obviously a newer character that I just picked up about a month ago, maybe less than a month. I've only put a few hours into him. And with this enhanced client, the game is crisper. It runs very smoothly. I do play on the Atlantic Shard as I always have. I kept my original 4 or 5 characters. I think there's 5 of them, or maybe even 6. I think you get 7 character slots altogether. So I somewhat had a decent start with Pig Menace here. But a couple weeks ago, I really wanted to just come back into the game, see what it was all about, this enhanced client, and see what the game was about. And I tell you what, guys, I've started to fall in love with it again, and I love these open-ended sandbox type of games. You know, you've seen the video of Just Cause 2. You know I love Entropy Universe because it's so sandboxy. It's so open world. You can do whatever. You're not stuck with quests that you have to do to progress. Like I could just go right now, which we're gonna go here in a bit. I could just go to Britannia and just do whatever. I could go to the Painted Caves, which is a newer. It was released in 2009. That's Peerless Dungeon. And just grind out whatever I want. So there's a little bit of gold, my bank balance. I've been playing about a month, 142,000 gold on this character, which is not bad. Last night I started fighting miasmas, which is a named scorpion in the labyrinth. If you guys remember, I think it's Age of Shadows, maybe, that was released, the Luna Malice. I'm very surprised at how many people are still playing here on Atlantic. And not just Atlantic, but other shards as well. Chesapeake is a very high populated shard. Lake Superior is also another one. Let's go to not Termure is the Stygian Abyss edition that they've recently done. I guess maybe a year or two ago. Where am I trying to go here? Malice, Luna. Now, it's the middle of the day for me. I don't expect to see too many people on, but there's quite a few people here at Luna. Look how busy. Middle of the day for me. People at work, at school, doing whatever, and there's all these blue names. At night, let me tell you, this place is packed. You cannot go anywhere in the game without seeing other players. This is the Atlantic Shard. I've also want to notice that Europa is super busy too. So a lot of European players are still playing this. It's amazing. It's amazing that after all these years later, 15 years later, people are still playing this game. It's absolutely incredible. Oh, this is a cool site too. uogold.net. You go there. You can actually search their vendors for items that you may want to purchase. It's so much easier than running around looking for vendors. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Pig Menace. Pig Menace is what they call nowadays, what the kids call a Sampire. He mixes Bushido's skill with Necro, or Vampire. He goes into Vampire form, which he is in right now, and he could take out some seriously big monsters. In fact, I could grind out about, I don't know, 30k in probably an hour if I really stick to it, or more. Like I was saying last night, I was taking miasmas out in the Minotaur Labyrinth. And let's just take a look here, because things are different, Things are much different than they were 6 years ago, 3 years ago, 8 years ago. The enhanced client's very smooth. It's very well thought out. I am using the legacy parts of the backpack because I like the look of it. I like, just to find my new stuff. But there is a new way to look at your backpack, and it's basically a gridded form. A grid. So you have your character sheet here, which is something that you really haven't had in the past. It didn't really break down. You basically had to go through each one of your sets of armors and break everything down. Using an LRC, as they call it, lower region cost suit, so I don't spend any reagents. Again, this is a Sampire in progress. Eventually, he'll be able to take on some high-level paragons, some champ spawns alone, and solo everything basically. Put the shield on, boost up my stats a bit. Toolbar down here, chat screen over here, which I have. And then you could take a look at these nifty little icons. Completely different skill window compared to what it used to be, a scroll. And these are my skills right here. Again, just a few weeks old. But I progressed fairly quick. I've almost GM'd for nearly 5 things. I'm working on a couple other things. And yeah, let's go kill some stuff. I do have an ethereal mount from as a reward for being a veteran, I guess you could say, of the game. Gameplay is still simple, and there is loads of content. It's a little tough to get into because there is so much content. You know, it's great, and at the same time, it's very difficult to get into because of the content. You know, there's so much involved when you have so much content. I just want to take a look at this house because this was almost an IDOC. It's fairly worn, so that'll crash down. We'll loot their stuff here in a couple days. Let's get to some hunting. We're not going to do anything crazy, so I think we're just going to go to my other rune book. Go to Titan Valley. Do a little sacred journey here. And I failed it. It's amazing how I'm failing that. Alright. And it's a grind game, guys. It's a grind for gear, you know? And why does this game, to me, is so special? Why this over, you know, any other grindy games? Other than nostalgia, you know? Because this was my first MMO. This was my first real game love, I guess you could say. Is because, you know, the grinding somewhat means something. It's not extraordinarily difficult to progress your character, this Cyclopean warrior. We are going to honor him, and then we're going to slay him. And it's a grind for gear. You know, it's a loot fest. There, you have your house, which you saw my house there. We're going to take on this Titan. We're going to honor him. And that's how the... oh man, there's some special abilities. He poisoned me, which I'm not worried about, because I'll just heal through it, being a Sampire. You know, there's just so much stuff to do. You could grind for skills. You could keep on improving your skills. You could try to get all these champion monsters and boss mobs now. You know, there's always different items worth of value. There's home items. There's, you know, home itself. You know, you could work towards a castle. You could work towards different rares and different things, and just progress your character so you could take champ spawns. And that's why I love this game. You know, sure, there are many games out there that have a lot of content that you know, they have the bosses, and you know, they have uber gear, but everything's random here. You know, everything's randomly generated. There's so much content, and the open world, the persistent open world and housing really make this game for me. Ooh, a Blood Elemental Slayer, luck 50, which is hits Spam Leech, which is alright. Damage increase 19. I'm gonna leave it. It's not that great. We are gonna eat his cake though, because he's a son of a bitch. Honor you. We're gonna kill you. Now I am using Lightning Strike to get him down. Try to increase my Bushido. So this is Ultima Online. 15 years later, it's looking great. One of the things that I forgot to mention is that you can zoom out, which is new, or new to me anyway. You can zoom in. It gets somewhat pixelated. You know, I kind of like it in the old way. We're gonna leave it at that. Check out my loot here, and then show you my house again. Go back to it. I'm based on Moonglow. Housing was fairly difficult. I must say, I came back about 4 years ago to test it out, and I just didn't fall back in love with it again, you know. So I only spent maybe a week or two, and I put a house down, and I lost a lot of my rares because I just didn't care enough to put them back into the bank. So my house went IDOC in danger of collapsing, and I lost, you know, everything as far as my rares are concerned. And I had a lot, and I had a bunch of artifacts and whatnot. But you know what? It's I start rebuild. This is my house. I am on Moonglow. If anybody still plays and is on the Atlantic Shard down here. Um, and I've started to pick up some artifacts here and there. It's the top of my house. I love the location. I've always wanted a house when I first started playing on Moonglow. It was such a location to have. My house was up near Cove. It was a very big um, house. It was a villa at the time. And then I had expanded it a little bit, and I lost that because I quit the game. And anyway, guys, this is Ultima Online. You may see another video or two of this, and thanks for watching.